Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage we've got a secret of the XK8 that we're going to fill in because there's a hole in our glove boxes that has nothing in it. What was that all about? It was the accessory rechargeable torch. Today we fit it. Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage we are finally installing the rare optional rechargeable torch into our Jaguar XK8. If you've not already seen the previous videos, in those I obtained this torch, although it is brand new straight out the box, 25 years old, containing batteries, so you can imagine. So this has been completely rebuilt and is now ready for installation. I do have instructions and I'll be following those, and we will see the use of yet another little secret of the XK8, the torch compartment. So step one in this process is to remove the glove box door, and you do that by removing the hinge screws. And I've done one. They are Torx T30s. And they are up above your shins when you're sitting in the car. So I'm going to reposition you so that you can see. I'll be doing it by feel. Okay, so there's me. I can see nothing at the moment. Equally, the light is shining in my eyes so that you can see better. So literally a little bit blind. If you feel underneath, there are two T30s in each hinge. There's one. Feel along here somewhere. Yeah, two. There it is. And with the hinges undone, if you hold the back edge of the glove box and then unlock it, whole thing drops down. And just gotta maneuver it to unhook two pegs. There's one here and one here, which are in slots in the side, and control how far it can move normally. Once you've got it off to a reasonable extent, there's a string here which is in kind of a keyhole slot. So if you pull that, you can unhook it from the side of the glove box and then take your glove box out. Then what we want to do is remove this liner for the glove box area. There are Torx screws in the bottom corners. One of them is missing on mine, which is interesting. Out they come. Should be enough one there. And then there are four along this top edge. And they're just straightforward crosshead screws. You can do this without removing the airbag veneer, but just be careful not to damage the lacquer. And that should be loose. The fact that it's probably not been removed in most cars since they were brand new means you can have a a little bit of a battle on. Just loosening it off from the trim where it's stuck to. There we go. And once you have it down, there are two wires on the left hand side, a purple and a black, that are for the interior light in the glove box. So you need to disconnect those. And in my particular example, but on nobody else's I doubt, I've got this big wired up button, which is for very early sat nav, which I explain in another video. So that I'm going to leave on. For anybody who is interested, this is my smart nav system. For that button I've just shown you triggers. It no longer operates because the service doesn't run anymore, but I keep it installed just for novelty because it is a rare beast. You should be aware that this metal beam going across that has the footwell light attached to it is now loose, because that was pinned in place by the same screw that we've removed from the bottom corner of the glove box. It also carries the air ducting for the passenger heater into their feet area. I'm going to remove this only so that it makes it easier for you guys to see what's happening next, and because I want to spray this with a bit of satin black because it's bare metal. So I'm just going to release this, which is the wire into the footwell light, and then there's a screw just here which is attaching the venting to this beam. I'm just going to take that out. And there we go. And that's out of the way. So that's the liner for the glove box, just to orientate you. The correct way up, so this is the edge that is normally up here. And you've got this document tray. That's where I pulled that leather pouch out of. Let me just, again, it's hard to see in some of these pictures, I know. So that lives in there. What we're going to do is remove this tray. This is our torch compartment. Just turn it over. You can see it's hooked into place with several of these. So you just pull them across and push through in a couple of positions, and the whole thing will drop out. Right, now it's time to mount our socket. So this is the tray which we removed from the glove box liner, and we're going to be using these things that come with the torch accessory kit, and they're a fitting I've never ever seen before. It's a rubber rivet. So we'll see how we get on with those. There are two holes that are drilled to a little size here, probably about 3.5, 4 mil. They need to be 8 mil. So I've put my step drill in and taped it off at 8, so I know where we're at. And I will drill it from the back so that I don't affect the flocking too badly. That's an 8. And that's an 8. There we go. And this is our rubber rivet, and it's got a threaded insert in this end and a flange on this end with no support. So what we're going to do is pop them through from the top side, like so. And we've got the pins here. And what's going to happen is, as we tighten the socket down on the top, it's going to pull, not the whole thing out like that, but just the top down and distort the rubber. Let's see how that works. So we place the socket on there. So it's on little rubber washers in effect. Put our screw through from the top. Interesting. The heads don't go through the holes, suggesting these are not the right screws, despite coming in the pack. There's no way I can have this upside down. They just reach through. Intriguing. Well, it's easy enough for me to swap. I've got plenty of screws, so we'll do that. That goes in. Just find a matching pair. Place that back on again. Drop the screw through. Get them started. Okay. And then if we come round to the other side to have a little look, now you can see there's a rivet action. As it distorts. Very unusual choice of fitting. I'm wondering about the why, but got no issue with it. There we go. Mounted. So this now can be reinstalled. So here's our tray. And this wire to go through this aperture at the back. Like so. There's little lugs fitting holes at the back of there. Like so.
The mobile phone network was unable to deliver your route. SmartNav is trying again. Press and hold your smart. Your route request has been cancelled. Guidance not active.
There we go. I think we're back in place. Oh, one more clip. There we are. So next, we're going to connect this, and the accessory connector up here has earth or negative on the one blade, which is differently orientated, and then there's an upper and a lower blade, because this is supposed to be snapped into a little hole up here like that. And the top hole is a permanent live, so that's quite useful to know. The bottom pin is a ignition live, or it will be when we've finished with this installation. So you need to just make sure that on your torch installation, you know which is a positive and which is a negative, and orientate the wiring appropriately. Because I've rebuilt the torch, it is possible to have switched it over, so I've checked it all out. So now we're just going to snap that into the accessory socket. My connectors are a bit tight. So tight, in fact, I might just put a screwdriver blade inside and open the lips on them a little bit. Probably got squoze assembling this socket. This connector came separate. I've crimped the cables and inserted them into this plastic moulding. I did that off camera because I thought that was boring even by my standards. Okay, pretty sure that's connected. All right, with that all connected up, just snap this back into its little hole, which is way back there. There we go. Keeps him out of the way. And then we need to route the wire in so it doesn't get trapped. And there's a reason I'm leaving this long. That's because this has just become a useful piece of wiring for other accessories I might want to install, as I know it's a sound safe ignition or accessory switched positive, and I know where there's a permanent positive as well on the other terminal of that socket, so that's quite handy. So now just reinstall my little bit of pipe work. Like that. Here's my bracket with a light back in, which I sprayed up matte black. There's absolutely no need to do that. That is just me being me. Don't forget to reconnect glove box light, else you'll be kicking yourself. And the light here for the footwell. As we said in an earlier video, it's not hard to see why these are so rare. Not too many dealers would have been pushing owners to have them install this. And the number of it were sold aftermarket, where an owner would do this to their almost brand new, if not brand new, £60,000 car, are negligible. Hence, these are rare as hen's teeth to find in a car. And we add to that the fact that if you can find the kit, you will need to rebuild it because the batteries will be toast. And then we reinstall the actual glove box door, if you like. This is a reasonably heavy item. It's steel fronted and has the same Tibby locks as the ignition. And just a tip, there are occasions when people have had to change ignition barrels and door barrels on cars and get new keys. They will forget that the glove box has the same key, and only when they lock it will they realise they've not changed the lock on their glove box. One of the weirdities of Tibby locks is most of the keys, not all, most, will lock most of the locks. because they lock by just disrupting a pattern of discs. To undo them is a very precise thing, and therefore not achievable unless you've got the right key. So you only find out you've got the wrong key after you've locked it. So if you're changing all the keys, all the barrels, locks on your car, then the top tip is get hold of the glove box of the car you're taking the barrels from as well, and just change the door. Or at least try lock and unlock with the door open. Okay, are we in? We may be in.
Guidance not active.
Nope, she's off again. Try and put the couple of bolts in the hinges.
Smart nav is now calculating the best route to your destination.
I bet you're not.
The mobile phone network was unable to deliver your route. Smart nav is trying again. Press and hold your Smart nav button now if you wish to cancel.
It's a weirdity of where the button is positioned on this system, but whenever you open or close the glove box, it wakes it up. Oh, I don't know if that was intent or just poor sighting.
Again,
Don't
hold your Smart nav button now if you wish to cancel. Your route request has been cancelled.
Good. Right, it looks like we're finished, but we're not. So pop our torch in. Hee-hee. So that's nice and easy to grab hold of. However, the accessory live connector we've used on this socket will not work. And that's because, as standard, the car doesn't have the relay to turn that accessory socket on whenever you put the ignition on. So we need to do one last task. And that task is go into your boot, open up the large fuse box in the boot, and you need a standard Jaguar relay. Now the Jaguar relays are almost entirely these brown ones or the black ones, and it's the brown ones that are usually the user interest ones. These are 12 volt 40 amp, and you have a spare socket, and we are going to use that socket with this relay. You can look at the terminals because they're a funny arrangement. They'll only go in one way and work out which way they go. Or, yet again, Jag's done something reasonably clever. We talked in a previous video that every fuse box has a cutout in the corner, and that cutout indicates fuse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you move away and you keep going that way. They are written on, but it's so hard to see. Likewise, all of the relays have a little cutout on one corner, and you face the cutout. So all these have a little cutout pointing at the cutout. So you take this one the same way, pop it in there like so, and now we've completed the installation. And just for completeness, I'll tell you that this relay now turns on with the ignition on and energizes the socket through fuse number 11. So here's the cutout: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That one, which is a 10 amp fuse. So there we have it. The genuine rechargeable XK8 torch installed in the glove box. Really neat, It's always bothered me that I've got a hole where nothing particularly goes, and it's taken me 7 years to get that accessory and install it. And it might not be the best torch in the world, in fact far from it, but it is the right thing, and I just like that it's quite a rare thing to have installed. So I'm very pleased. Well, I'm really pleased with the results there. That's worked out really nicely. It is far more effort than it's worth. It is far more money than it's worth, but I enjoyed the process, so that's absolutely fine. Wait till you see the next accessory I'm going to fit. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.